Hello everyone, welcome back to the Undercut, and today we're going to be talking about F175. I mean, what an event that was.
Yeah,
Weird though, right?
it was weird to what. It was a good watch though.
Yeah.
I rather enjoyed it. I don't think we're going to get it again after
No.
a few things that happened.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen again.
I don't think it's going to happen again after several things. And if it does happen again, I think select people will not be there.
No, absolutely not.
So yeah, no. But I thought it was quite good though. I quite enjoyed it. Maybe we would get it for F1 100.
Yeah, maybe they just turn it into a sort of an anniversary thing.
Yeah, I think an F1 100 you've got to do something big if it's 100 years.
Yeah.
So in 25 years' time.
Yeah.
We'll probably have something big like this, but we're definitely not going to have something like this for the next few years anyway, at least.
No, definitely not.
But no, I thought it was quite a good event for F1 to throw, actually. It was quite an interesting event for F1 to throw.
I thought it was one of those things that reminded me kind of Drive to Survive, where it's a little bit out of F1's comfort zone. Didn't feel all too F1 kind of style.
No.
And that's good for the sport to do things different, but I can see why people didn't enjoy it. I thought Jack Whitehall was being Jack Whitehall, but I didn't vibe with him being there. I'm not gonna lie.
That was I got that same vibe. I think if you look at it in an F1 perspective, I don't think Jack Whitehall worked very well.
No.
If you look at it in a show perspective, I think Jack Whitehall worked very well.
Yeah, the thing is, F1 has never been about. Well, F1's about the show. It is about the show, but it's not about the. I don't want to say this. I can't think of any other way to describe it. It's not about the mainstream show, if you get what I mean. Like, F1 is about glamour and glitz and money, and there's like, people walking around that are like billionaires and stuff, and that's cool. And that's where F1's popularity comes from. Maybe I'm just being an old head, but when you got Jack Whitehall making short Yuki Tsunoda jokes 10 times over, like, it's funny, but like, I don't know. These drivers aren't celebrities in the traditional sense. They race cars.
You tell Lewis Hamilton that.
No, Lewis Hamilton's the exception, though, right?
Yeah,
you're always going to get exceptions.
And Charles are getting into the bracket of celebrity now.
I think Lando's definitely there, only because he's sort of a YouTuber as well.
Yeah.
He's with Quadrant, isn't he? So he does stuff like that. But everyone, all the rest of them, they just aren't like, they're just normal human beings. They look so out of place.
Not public figures.
No, they're not.
They're not like, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I know what you're getting at. I mean, I think if you wanted it more F1-y, I don't know if I'd do it in London,
Where would you do it?
I probably Monaco.
You know what? Shout that, yeah? That's a shout.
Like, if you wanted it more F1 themed, instead of Jack Whitehall, get Crofty.
Yeah. Yes, get Crofty.
Do it on the streets of Monaco. Get the track layout on there. Do it on the streets of Monaco. Have the reveal around Monaco. Get all your big name yachts, people, whatever, and just have it like an exclusive club thing, because that's what F1 really is.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you want it more to do with that, I would have done it more Monaco. But I like what they were doing in terms of inclusivity of us lot. It's better in London.
Yeah, it's better in London for the tickets and people coming to the show, and London's easily accessible from places like the Netherlands as well, which obviously Max Verstappen has a big fan base, and it's also very accessible from France as well. So like, London is probably the smartest place to do it economically for fans, but like, if you want it to be about F1, Monaco would also be cool. So, but
yeah, I mean, shall we just get into? Well, let's keep on with Jack Whitehall because I quite liked his entrance. But don't get me wrong. Like, I think the Jack Whitehall, if you want F1, he was the wrong choice. Straight off the bat, I think some of the things he was saying was quite like, I don't know, cringe. I think there was a point where he was like, "Oh, where's the boot in an F1 car?" I remember him saying that. I mean, I think that's like,
see, F1 fans are just like
for an F1 fan. I think that's a bit.
It is. That's exactly how I felt.
But I quite enjoyed the fact that he was no filter. So we got straight in with the Max Verstappen George Russell beef.
Yeah, I like that.
He got I like that. He got onto the main topics, Lewis going to Ferrari, Lewis and Toto. Obviously what the fan craze is, so obviously Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris. Got straight into them. I think in terms of that, Jack Whitehall did okay. I think some of the jokes just didn't hit in terms of an F1 fan base, but some of them in the relevancy of what's going on. And like, let's be honest, on F1 fans, it is going to be like, what is going to happen with George Russell, Max Verstappen? And I think he just got that beef going again.
It was more for the mainstream though, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, there was parts of what he was doing that was quite good. Yeah, it was just 50-50 in what he was doing, but I liked how he was unfiltered, especially with the FIA swearing ban. He got into that with Gordon Ramsay, which was quite
I'm so happy that Gordon Ramsay called that out, by the way. Like he is the man himself, the swearing man himself.
Yeah, he did get that right.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. But I think you make a good point though. If I was to, as an F1 fan, to have this show be presented by anyone, I would have picked Crofty.
I would have picked maybe Brundle.
No, not Brundle.
You could have done Coulthard, I suppose.
Crofty.
I mean, I would want
maybe
Crofty
Coulthard
personally, but there are options.
Yeah, I would have picked, or even maybe Simon Lazenby or someone.
Even
from Sky.
Steve Jones.
Yeah, I would have picked an F1 person because I think Crofty. Thing is, people say stuff about Crofty. He gets some things wrong sometimes, and sometimes he slips up. But he's entertaining.
He is really good. He's entertaining. Yeah, I don't think he would have gone as deep as what Jack Whitehall has done. I think in terms of what's going on in F1 with Max Verstappen and George Russell and everything going on, Crofty wouldn't have done that. So in that perspective, it's kind of good because Jack Whitehall was also attacking things that are on fans' lips.
Yeah, in that case as well, Jack Whitehall maybe came at it as a fan. Crofty can't really start beefing the drivers when he's got to interview them all year. So
no, and obviously if he starts beefing into Max Verstappen, obviously he's with Sky Sports. We don't want Max Verstappen to start boycotting his Sky Sports interviews again.
Oh man, yeah, no, that's true. I guess so. It's got its pros and cons, right?
Yeah, there's pros and cons to the way they picked Jack Whitehall. I don't think he'll be asked again if the FIA have anything to do with it. But yeah,
it's like Ricky Gervais at the Oscars, isn't it?
Yeah, Ricky Gervais would have been amazing there, to be honest.
If Ricky Gervais is an F1 fan, get him down.
That would have been proper. Jesus Christ.
Good.
I'd enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it would have been good. It would have been good. Shall we jump straight into the main event then?
Yeah, shall we
get into it?
Let's get into it.
Let's jump into the liveries, the reason why everyone watched F1 75. Let's start with, of course, the first one they rolled out, which, of course, was the Steak Sauber.
Yeah, and obviously we'll talk about the liveries as well. I also want to talk about the entrances of all the teams.
All right, okay, that's interesting.
Because I think the entrances also kind of made the show and made the reveal, made the liveries.
Right.
And nice to see. And I quite enjoyed Sauber's video. Did you see the video?
No.
No, well, it was quite a cool video. It was a basic video. And from what I saw from the video itself was better than the actual livery. So
No,
no,
I saw the renders of the car,
yeah,
and I saw the actual car on stage, and the renders make the livery look 10 times better, but it
yeah,
just doesn't come out right on the car.
no. The video, the car looked pretty good.
Hmm.
They wheeled the car out from the front angle. When we watched the front angle as they come out, I was like, "Oh, hello."
Oh, it's
Here
gorgeous,
we
isn't it?
go.
It's gorgeous.
Pan to the side. Oh no, what's gone on?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Stake are doing that weird thing that a lot of F1 teams have tried to do in the last few years, where it looks completely different from the side than it does from the front. I don't know why so many F1 teams are doing this nowadays. I remember Renault did it a few years ago. If I seem to remember, Mercedes did it last year and kind of sort of did it this year as well. It's like, I don't know, I don't get it. Like, is there really any point?
They could have done a really good job with grading from the green to the black.
Yeah, and they
I
just
think
didn't.
their base of the green to the black, that livery could be stunning.
It could be, and
just did it wrong.
the real reason why I think they've gone with the whole, oh, it looks different from the side than it does from the front, is because from the front, that's where you see the car most of the time on TV. So it looks
Well, technically, we'll probably see the rear.
What? No, we'll just see them at the back.
Oh, we might not see them.
Well, no, we might not even see them. So when you see the stake from the front, it's just bright green. So that's their identity, and that's what they want you to see. But from the side, it's like carbon because they're trying to save weight. So that's probably the reason why they've done it. So it highlights the car, highlights the sponsors, gets people talking about the car. But then from the side, they're saving as much weight as possible, which I understand. But they've butchered the fade. At this point, if the car's going to be that shit, just make the whole thing black and have green, neon green sponsor logos on it. Like, at this point, don't butcher the fade. Just make the whole thing black. Alright? Save the weight. Might as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't... Well, this will be the last time it'll be green, probably.
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
I don't think Audi will carry on with green.
I'd be very surprised if they did.
I'd be highly surprised. I'm anticipating their, like, gunmetal grey, red, white sort of colours.
I'm expecting a... you know what Alpine's livery is? Sort of a chrome blue. I'm expecting, like, a dark maroon chrome red.
I think it'll be, you know, their gunmetal grey that they have on.
Yeah, but is that boring though?
No, I think they could. I think it'll be gunmetal grey, and you'll have the big Audi logo on the side.
A grey car.
Yeah, but I think they'll incorporate red and white into it.
If they get a good red and white colour scheme going on with the grey, then fairs. But
it could work.
A grey car, I don't know. I just don't see.
It's different.
It's different. I just think it'll look kind of ass.
Well, we'll see next year. That's next year's problem.
Yeah, but anyway, final thoughts on the stake livery. Do you think the livery looks good, or are you placing it in? Is it a winner or a chicken dinner? I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Is that the saying? No. Is it a winner or a loser?
Yeah. It's difficult because from the front, it's a definite winner.
Yeah. From
the side, it's a definite loser.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. I'm with how disappointing the side is. I'm going to put them in loser.
Yeah, I think it's probably a loser for me as well. I think at that point you just got to go for a full carbon livery if you're trying to save the weight.
Yeah.
And I know I would have clowned it if it was fully carbon.
Because I hate wood. We saw what you were like with Alpine.
Yeah, but they're beating around the bush. At least just embrace the fact that you're going to be slow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a loser for me. Let's move on to the next car that rolled out. Of course, was the Williams.
It was the Williams.
I was going to say Racing Bulls then, but then I was like, wait, no, there's got to be another car. It's Williams.
Yeah, no, Williams. Obviously, a team and a driver in there that you really love and bang on about all year.
Well, I haven't started this year yet, so
Not yet, but
you brought it up first.
Yeah, no. I quite liked the blue gradient that they had going on. I mean, most teams I would have thought would have gone light to dark. Quite like the dark and blue at the front, getting lighter as you go back. I still hate that Duracell battery on top.
No, I love it. It's great. It's
I
so
hate
good.
it with a passion.
You're the only one who hates it. It's marketing genius.
I did notice on the side of the Williams car actually. New sponsor.
Oh yeah.
Alassian, is that how you say them? I don't know.
Well, that's their new sponsor, isn't it, for this season?
That is their new sponsor for this season. Very big, very bold.
Yeah.
Incorporated it quite well, I must admit.
Yeah.
It was a great show reveal. I think they did it quite well. They brought the car out, brought James out, and then James introduced the drivers. The drivers walked out. They had the mechanics walk all down the side. It was a good show that Williams put on, and I think the livery, again, was very good as well. It's a good livery.
Yeah, it's an alright livery. It does nothing breathtaking.
No, nothing like stupendous, but it's not
nice.
a bad livery.
It's nice. No, it doesn't make me go, oh wow, but it's a nice livery.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
nice livery.
Straight in the winners.
It's in a winner for me. Yeah, It's a winner for me, I think, probably. Let's move on then to, of course, 8th place is the Racing Bulls.
Yes.
This was the boldest livery of this year. 100%.
It's definitely the boldest. One that I didn't guess.
No, I did not have that on my bingo card. I thought they were going to roll out one that looked... Well, the 2019 Toro Rosso I thought we were getting.
Yeah, I didn't think we would get that. I mean, I'm gonna start on the video entrance. Obviously, I quite like Saubers. I liked Williams. I did not enjoy Racing Bulls. They had some weird Donny going around the streets of London speaking to people, saying it's VCARB. That's the abbreviation.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get on to Red Bulls as well, but I think the Red Bull family as a whole have butchered their sort of intros.
Potentially. I mean, yeah, I didn't enjoy Racing Bulls intro at all. And then, contrary to opinion, now don't get me wrong, I quite like the white.
I love how it's white. Yeah, it's great.
I don't like the yellow on the front and on the top.
That's so controversial because everyone loves it.
I don't. And I think what's bugging, you know what I think it is? I think it's the fact that obviously they've got the yellow on the top and the front and the tip of the front. And then it's white. And then you've got them like dark and blue bulls, haven't you, at the back?
Yeah.
I like that. Why couldn't the top and the front be the dark and blue? Or why couldn't the dark and blue be yellow?
So you think there's too many colours going on?
I think so. I think it's that yellow and that blue. I think couldn't they all just be yellow or all just be blue?
I understand that, but also I'm not gonna lie, I really like it. I really like it.
I think the yellow that annoys me is the fact that I know they're the sister team of Red Bull, but they're not Red Bull, and they've always not been like Red Bull. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's always been so Red Bull's always been yellow at the front, and
yeah, and they've gone more Red Bull, and I don't like. It's kind of like you know, like say you've got like two brothers, and you've got one really cool brother, and then the other one's only known for his cool brother.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like they've lost their own identity.
Yeah. It's
I
like
think that's
Deji and
what
KSI.
annoyed me. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Deji and KSI. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I
That's
agree.
the only thing that's annoying me about it. Couldn't they
I,
have just because their identity is kind of that dark blue and white. I like the dark blue and white. I think that bit
I
of yellow is
agree.
just giving me the Red Bull feel, and I don't like it.
I agree, but the yellow looks phenomenal on the front.
Well,
I love it.
then put the yellow on the side where the dark blue is. Then
I fair enough. But I just this goes in winner for me.
it's going. See, I really like the white, and I like the blue, but again, it's the yellow. I can't have it. I'm putting it in loser. I don't like the
Damn,
yellow.
that is
The
controversial.
yellow annoys me.
No, it's going in winner for me. By far my favorite livery of the whole reveal. Definitely, without doubt. It's so sexy. It's so good. But yeah, fair enough. Actually, before we move on, I just do want to say that RB ain't gonna be looking like that mid-season. No way, because there's no way RB are gonna be quick enough to sustain that amount of paint work on the car, especially white paint on the car. That car is gonna be carbon black by mid-season. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on to, of course, the next car which was rolled out, which was Haas.
Yeah, Haas. Similar livery, but a bit more white incorporated into this one again.
The livery was kind of an inverse of last year's livery.
Yes.
Sort of.
So it's a very nice livery, though. I like it. It kind of reminds me of when Haas first came in with their kind of grey, red, and white, but a bit more like sleek, bit more redefined, bit more. It looks fast.
It does. I think for me, I liked the livery from last year a bit more.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Recall when we first watched it, you did not like that livery.
No, I didn't. And this livery, I don't know what it is about. I like the side pod. I think the Haas inverted colours looks nicer than it did last year.
Yes.
But the livery as a whole, something's just not clicking for me. It doesn't feel... It feels like there's too much going on. It feels too messy. And I don't know if that's the way they've incorporated the sponsors or...
The American way.
Or the colours just off a little bit. In terms of the amount of color, I don't know. It's not a bad livery, but like I sort of do prefer last year's.
I like this year's.
For me, it's got to go in loser, but only just.
I'm putting it in winner. I mean, a little thing with Haas. I mean, they were the first car to come out and do a little spin on the platform.
Oh, right, yeah, of course.
So they did this bit. I thought that was quite good. I got to see the full car.
Yep.
Not other teams were doing that. I got to see the full Haas, which was very nice.
I imagine the bill, if they fucked that up, would have been tremendous.
Oh, God. Yeah. And Haas's video was quite good, very American-y themed.
Yeah, well, gotta lean into the Americanness until Cadillac come in, haven't they?
And this is 10 years of Haas now. Haas's 10th season will come into.
It is. Now, I've got a question for you as well. Haas 10 seasons in is longer than quite a lot of Formula One teams would go for.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the average length of a Formula One team is, but apart from McLaren, Ferrari, and Williams, now probably looking at Red Bull, Mercedes as well. Most teams sort of get bought out or change ownership or change name every 5 to 10 years. Haas is sort of eclipsing it, and they're getting there now. Do they ever...
They're settling in, Haas, aren't they? I mean...
Oh, yeah. Permanent member.
They seem like the newcomer, but they're not really.
No, they're really not, no.
And,
they've got experience.
Yeah, they have got experience. I mean, they're still a small team.
Yeah.
But... No, Haas is settling in. I'm quite surprised. I can't believe how quick the time's gone for them to be on the 10th season, to be honest.
No, yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. No, back when it was. I mean, when they first came in, didn't they pick up a... Was it a...
Fifth
in Australia?
In the first race?
A
Bahrain.
It was a very good race, wasn't it, for them?
Yeah, was 5th place Roman Grosjean, I believe.
Was
it
it Bahrain?
fourth?
No, it wasn't Bahrain. It was Australia.
It was Bahrain.
It was Australia back in 2016.
Are we sure?
It was Australia.
Either way, the first race they finished in the points.
It was Australia, and it was Kevin and Roman, both of them finishing the points.
Did they?
I think it was 4th and 6th.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. They had a very good opening race.
Yeah, it was fantastic, wasn't it? Wait, no, Kevin Magnussen wasn't racing for him then. He was racing for Renault.
It was
Esteban Gutierrez. Yeah.
Grosjean had a good one.
Grosjean had a fantastic race, I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
Was it the following year was Kevin and Grosjean in Australia?
Yeah, possibly.
They had a very good one, and then the year after was the whole double-ended wheel coming off sort of scenario.
Yeah. Jesus. God, that saga.
Haas have really been at two ends of the spectrum, really, haven't
They have, and then they had that whole Rich Energy saga.
Yeah.
Bro, when that livery was gold and black.
Oh my god.
Bro, what was that about?
I don't know.
And then they had the Russian livery at one point, do you remember? They had that Russian livery.
That was with what's his face?
They had the Uralkali sponsor, didn't they? Because of Mazepin.
Mazepin.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Mazepin's father owned a stake in that company. So, but yeah, either way, Haas. It's not a bad livery, but because I like it less than last year's, it's gonna have to go in loser for me.
I've got winner.
Okay, let's move on to, of course, the best of the rest. Well, we don't know if they're best of the rest because Aston Martin technically, they're in Formula B now. But it was Alpine.
Yes, Alpine. With their entrance, obviously they had a DJ entrance.
Yep.
I did not enjoy it.
You didn't enjoy it.
I didn't like the DJ entrance. I did not like his music at all. And funnily enough, he's the guy that created the F1 theme tune.
Oh, Brian Taylor? Yeah.
I didn't like their DJ entrance at all.
Yeah.
It was very weird. So in terms of an entrance, loser. In terms of getting rid of the black and going with the pink and the blue, winner.
Oh, bro, this livery's so good.
It is. I don't think it will stay now.
No, I don't either. But what a winner of a livery this is! If RB didn't roll out such a sexy looking car, this is my favorite livery. It's gone from one end. It's gone from one end. It's gone from 10th on my list last year to almost first on this year's list, and this, I just don't know. Like Alpine had such a good livery before BWT came in. Remember the chrome blue livery? It was so good. And then when BWT came in, they kind of just fell off a cliff with the livery. It started being carbon, and then they did the pink livery, and then the pink and the blue wasn't incorporated all too well. And it was all right, but it wasn't the greatest. Last year, they completely fucked it. This year, they have found the balance, and oh my god, it looks good.
I don't think that will be the livery come Bahrain.
Oh, absolutely not. Bro, we're going to see in every session of testing just a little bit more paint.
Get more black.
Yeah, just more paint's going to keep coming off.
Yeah, I think it will be changed. By Australia, it'll be completely different.
Yeah, no, definitely. 100%.
But if they manage to stick with it, fair play, I like it.
Yeah.
It's the winner and probably my favourite.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. So a winner for Alpine then from both of us. Speaking of losers, though, let's move on to Aston Martin.
I mean, before the Aston Martin, there was a small break.
Right, okay. Are we going to talk about the break?
Okay, well, we are going to talk about the break because in that break, the FIA was announced.
Yeah, well, the FIA have they don't have a good reputation at the moment, do they? The FIA.
No, and the boos were ringing out.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Wow.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I mean, to be fair, if that was held in America, any other country, I don't think there's boos.
I think maybe places in Europe.
Maybe some, but definitely not like Britain.
It's I think it's a reality check for the FAA, because I think a lot of the criticism and the backlash has come online. But when they got booed at F175, that's when it really put it into perspective for them. And I hope that the president and everyone working around him and just the FIA in general can sort of take this on board, realize how much the fans are disagreeing with the way they're running things and how much the fans are backing up the drivers and what they're saying. And I hope they can just, you know, change maybe some of their philosophies and change a few things around, because people are not happy with the FIA, not just in the rules of the racing, but the conduct about the rules they're placing on the drivers in press conferences and stuff. So, you know.
Yeah, it was quite interesting when they were first brought up. The reaction of people, it was good to see, actually. I quite enjoyed the boost. I joined it.
From your bed.
Yeah, but a bit of nicer news. There was a good look at the new F1 movie.
Oh, yep, of course. Brad Pitt,
the
new F1 movie.
I quite like the look of that trailer.
It's gonna be one of them movies, I think, that's gonna piss a lot of people off, because they're gonna do certain things maybe slightly differently to suspend fiction from reality in the way of movie making, and people are gonna go.
Apparently, it's supposed to be probably the most authentic, racing sort of movie there is out there.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt that they've definitely tried, but there will be some things that they'll have to suspend for fiction, and that's gonna piss people off. And the thing is, Jack, I don't know about you, but I'm very much an F1 purist. I am one of those bastards that hates change in F1. So, I'm an old bastard, old grumpy old man. And if this thing gets shit wrong, it's not going to make me happy. But I'm willing to suspend my reality of F1 for a good movie if it's good.
Well, yeah, that's it. I think I don't like many things changing in Formula One, but I can separate like reality of F1 and a show like Drive to Survive or a movie. I can separate them mentally, so it won't bother me too much if it's not exact, because I know it's a movie and it's not the actual thing.
Yeah,
I have the capacity to separate it.
And Brad Pitt's character's like 50 years old, isn't he, or something like that?
Something. I don't.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Fernando's not far.
No, he's not. To be fair, so I mean.
It's not
realism?
that. It's not that wrong.
No, it's not that wrong. But speaking of Fernando, Aston Martin.
Yes. Very cool Bond theme.
Yeah, well, you think they would, wouldn't you? Because of the Aston Martin and the British Racing Green and the, you know.
Yes, I think the entrance of the drivers was quite good. Both Lance and Fernando coming in from the crowd, helmets on, suits up. It was a good video. A lot of black.
Yeah.
I think Newey's stripping the car.
Newey went in there before it went on stage and just ripped the paint. Aston Martin's one of those liveries where it's hard to get it wrong.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Ferrari. We'll speak about Ferrari soon. It's kind of like Ferrari. It's kind of like Red Bull. In fact, it's exactly like them. Those brands and those cars have such an identity now that you know what the car's going to look like even before it comes out.
You know what colour.
Aston Martin is the same. Martin's Aston Martin. British Racing Green. It's so easy. And it's one of the most iconic racing colours in history. If not the most iconic racing colour in history. Behind potentially only maybe Ferrari.
Behind Ferrari.
Right? It's one of the most recognised liveries for racing. You know.
You've got to watch what you were saying there.
I said behind Ferrari. Don't worry. I said behind Ferrari. And it's one of the easiest liveries. You know, if Aston Martin stick around in the sport and they plastered the British Racing Green for another 20, 30 years. That's one of the most iconic F1 liveries ever made.
Well,
hands down.
Watch it.
So, you know, it's so simple to get right. I don't know how they fucked it, but they fucked it.
They have. I mean,
the black looks awful.
The amount of carbon on that car.
Yeah.
It's not good to see from Aston Martin, to be honest. But I mean, they were just going backwards in the past 2 seasons, so
I can't say I'm surprised.
No, I'm not. I'm not too surprised either, to be honest. I think Newey just probably wants to see the carcass of the car first and see what he's dealing with.
Yeah.
The green as itself, the lime green, is nice. I just can't get over the black.
No, I also hate the blue and the green faded Aramco logo on the rear wing. Yeah. I hate that. That's ass as well. If you couldn't tell, this livery's in loser, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's loser. It's loser.
Yeah.
It's definitely a loser.
It is, yeah, 100%. It could be such a good livery, but it's just not. Right, speaking of maybe I don't know. I think we're gonna disagree on this one potentially. Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes. They had a nice entrance video actually.
Well, I will say though, they don't have as much aura without Lewis Hamilton.
No, they definitely don't have as much aura. Well, they fucked up the walkout bit with the fucking pit stop and the change of the tyres. If that's what they're doing this season with them pit stops, I'd be worried if I was the Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, Antonelli's like, what am I walking into?
They botched that up, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. I don't know why they did that. What was the reason for that?
I think they're just trying to be different, probably.
Yeah, well, they just made themselves look silly, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, something's gonna go wrong in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done the change of the bloody tires. That was
There's no need.
The car's front right. He's getting sacked in the morning.
Yeah, bro, he's not making it to Australia.
No, he's been sacked. So, oh well, bye bye. But yeah, as a whole, if I take out the glaring, obvious top part of the car that we'll get to in a bit,
yeah, we'll talk about that.
I quite like the livery.
Yeah, it's all right. It's
not a bad livery.
It's not bad. It's just I hate. It's I thought it looked nice last year when they revealed it. But as the seasons,
I remember us watching it.
Yeah, but as the season's gone on, I kind of just prefer either the all silver or the all black. I hate this kind of sort of wishy-washy in the middle thing they're trying to do, and I just sort of prefer if they were the silver arrows or if they were the black arrows. I'd prefer it either one, and maybe you interchange each year. I don't know, but for Mercedes, I'm not really fancying the in between thing that they're trying to do.
I quite like it, to be honest.
That's fair.
I like it. By no means is it. I knew that was coming.
Yeah,
I like it. It's still a winner. It's not like a winner in terms. It's not as good as the Williams, but it's definitely not a loser. It's still a nice looking livery.
For me, it isn't loser.
It is not in loser for me. It's still just a winner. But what I will say, I'm quite surprised. Well, surprised with the latest rumors. Maybe not so surprised. No red Ineos, like where Williams have their Duracell. Mercedes have their red Ineos usually.
Yeah, they do.
That's just not there.
No, and
Ineos wasn't anywhere to be seen, but on the driver's race suit,
which you can't obviously reprint for the event.
Don't they usually have Ineos on the rear wing as well?
They do, yes.
I didn't see that.
But no Ineos, and I think, I mean, let's just get into it. So there's a lot backing up this. There's been rumors that Ineos are going to sell their shares. in Mercedes.
It's sell their shares. I don't think it's voluntarily.
No, there's rumors that Mercedes want to buy him out. So...
There's rumors that Mercedes want to buy him out, take Sir Jim's third off of him.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know Sir Jim is in trouble with the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team.
Why
They're taking him to court over something financial and stuff.
And we also know Sir Jim's run out of money for Man United as well.
Yeah, so he's in a lot of financial sort of trouble here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised
from the Glazers either.
If that Mercedes is gone. We are not a Man United fan channel, Lewis.
No, I'm just saying it's not.
You want to start one with the way that you're going on here?
Bro, you mentioned Sir Jim, and it's just getting me going. But it makes sense though. Like, the good thing about having sort of the sort of being in the loop with Man United at the same time is sort of going, okay, well, Ineos isn't in the car, Sir Jim's gonna maybe sell his shares, or he's being forced to sell his shares. That's interesting. Sir Jim might be in some financial trouble. Sir Jim has no money for Manchester United. There's a whole stadium rebuild for Old Trafford that's going on that maybe he's pumping money into. Maybe there's some trouble there. Like, you sort of connect the dots between everything Sir Jim's got his fingers into.
Well, yeah, he's got a problem with New Zealand All Blacks rugby team.
He got the rugby team, exactly. So you start to connect the dots, and you go, well, all these things, and I wouldn't be surprised if something with Nice comes up as well. Maybe,
well,
like
he's pulling out of his. There's 1.5 years left on his sponsorship with Tottenham Hotspur as well, and he also sponsor.
Exactly. So
he wants to pull out of.
What is going on with Sir Jim? And obviously, whatever's going on with him, Mercedes has removed Ineos from the car. And
since Ineos came to Mercedes have been shit.
Yeah, they have been. Yeah, they've been woeful.
Yeah.
But now they and it looks like a last minute change, because the car would be okay, but that piece of silver just laying there where the Ineos logo is meant to be, it looks really out of place.
It either looks like they're ready to put the red on, but it wasn't ready yet in time for that.
Yeah.
Or the red was on it and they've scraped it off last minute.
And it's either one, because there ain't no way that's the actual livery that's came from like the design board. And also
I'm
another thing,
be really shocked if that's still that sort of silver come testing even.
And also, by the way, there was no renders of the car.
No, I mean,
Mercedes
aren't showing their car until the first day of testing.
No, they're out. That was the 2024 car we got in F1 75, just to be clear.
A lot of cars weren't the actual cars that was shown. I mean, Ferrari's was.
So Ferrari's was, yeah. That's because they've already done a shakedown, though, so...
They did their shakedown the morning after.
Yeah, sorry, we're going to do their shakedown.
Yeah. So, a lot of cars, some were 2024. So, obviously, I don't think Ferrari's was the finished product.
No, it won't be.
None of them will be a finished product, the ones that would the 2025. However, some was more 2025, some was more 2024.
Yeah.
So that could be the reason as to why Ineos wasn't on there. It's not actually their car yet. They could be. We would see probably Ineos maybe come Bahrain. But if it's not on there by testing, I'm going to be severely surprised, because that is a Sky Sports broadcasting. You will want your sponsors out there.
Yeah, I mean F1. I mean, barring that, this is the biggest eyes on F1 event ever.
Well, yeah.
Since, take away the testing and the actual races and the weekends, this is the biggest thing F1 have ever done, where the cars are getting shown to the public.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the thing is, like, Ineos was still on the race suits.
That's the thing. That's what leads me to believe that it was covered up, because you can't reprint the race suits last minute. You can paint over a car.
Well, I mean, a bit of duct tape.
Yeah. How funny would it be if they came up with duct taped Ineos on their fucking race suits?
I mean, I mean, no, because if Mercedes were genuinely had like this beef with Ineos and they got to the point where they were taking their sponsor off of their car, they would have found a way to either not wear the race suits or have a spare or have a different set of race suits done or covered it up in some way. They would have had the drivers hold the helmets over it, something.
Maybe.
There would have been some way where Mercedes would have had them cover up Ineos.
I think we just wait.
Serious thing, I think.
I think we just wait until testing and just see.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even Australia. Yeah. So, but anyway, Mercedes aside, let's move on to, of course, the reigning world champion and his team. It is Red Bull.
The party poopers.
That was awful, by the way. What was that?
Party poopers. Yeah, well, for the first instance, you could tell Max Verstappen didn't want to be there.
Well, of course he didn't. He's made that clear all last season. He didn't.
Grumpy bastard. Christian Horner getting booed.
Bro, man got absolutely finessed.
Oh,
it's getting beefy.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't. Oh,
it was a bit sensitive, wasn't it?
It was a very, yeah, I'm not going to get into that one. But all I'm going to say is I might have added to it if I was there. So
we almost were there, to be fair.
Yeah. But what I will also say is their opening video was weird. But what Christian Horner was saying was so Max dominant. It's like he licks Max Verstappen's arsehole.
He does. We know
he does.
this.
That's all that comes out of his mouth. We've got the reigning world champion. Oh, what? Fuck off. You've got Liam Lawson there. You've got a rookie. Talk about your team. Talk about what you want. Don't talk about Max Verstappen all the bloody time. Change the subject.
It's the Max Verstappen show.
Yeah, he bums him. It genuinely annoys me to this point now because that's the only thing I hear from Christian Horner now is Max Verstappen or complaining. Yeah. That's all that comes out of his goddamn mouth. And he's been in the sport for 20 years now. 2005 he came into this sport.
Yeah.
20 years. Grow the fuck up and say something else.
Yeah, it's all about Max. All about Max. And, yeah. Let's talk about the livery, though. Now, Christian,
what do you want me to talk about the livery? It's the same livery from back in 2005.
Yeah, I mean, it's a winner for me. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Red Bull livery.
I can't go wrong. I don't like it. I've
Why?
had enough. I want something different.
No, but
it's not iconic.
Yes, it is.
It's not for me.
What do you mean it's not?
No, I've had enough of Red Bull. I've had enough of everything. I've had enough of the livery. I've had enough of the car. I've had enough of the driver. I've had enough of the team manager. I've had enough.
How can you say the livery isn't iconic?
I've had enough.
Why? Why isn't the livery iconic?
I don't like it. They can do something different with it.
But you said it's not iconic.
Imagine, right? Red Bull did the white that RB did.
No, because that's not Red Bull.
Red Bull could do it so much nicer.
No, I'm stuck on the fact that you said it's not iconic. It's won 5 Constructors' Championships and 8 Drivers' Championships, and that shit's not iconic. Is the black Mercedes livery iconic? Is the silver Mercedes livery iconic? Yes!
No.
Yes! What do you mean no?
The silver Mercedes, I'll grant that. But the black, no.
Not the black where Lewis Hamilton won his 7th world title in.
That's not no. The car itself is iconic. The livery is not.
Nah, that livery was sexy.
The livery was sexy. It was a lovely livery. It was, but it's not iconic.
It is iconic.
No, there's a levels to it, and I don't like the Red Bulls. I don't like their livery.
But it is iconic though.
I just don't like them. Full stop. I think there's so much. I think Red Bull could be one of them that, yeah, they've stuck with the livery, but for me, I'm trying to think of a way to say it. Like, I don't think Aston Martin, like with Aston Martin, their livery is iconic because their colours predate them.
Yes.
So I can completely get that. Ferrari, iconic. It's always been red.
It's
Always.
iconic because it predates it, and also they've won a lot with it.
Yeah. With Red Bull, I don't know what it is, but for me, I just don't see it being like of the caliber of an Aston Martin, of a Ferrari. I think it's behind the Mercedes silver. It's ahead of a Mercedes black. I don't think Mercedes black is iconic at all, by the way. Like, at all. I think the Lewis Hamilton 7th championship black livery you can't say the livery itself is iconic, like in terms of Ferraris is iconic. It's iconic for the achievement that was made in that car. Where Red Bull, I don't see it of the caliber of a livery that is like a Ferrari, is an Aston Martin. Yes, they've won things. Yes, they've achieved great things in it. I'm not going to deny that. I just think Red Bull could do something more interesting, do something more fun. They're such a stagnant, boring, mouldy team right now.
Bro, and since when?
They're a piece of cheese that is festering in the fridge that's just not changing.
I've got 2 points for you. Number one, right? You said do something different. Whenever Ferrari does something different, slightly away from the red, everyone complains. Number two,
the thing is with the Ferrari red, there is a difference in the Ferraris. There is a difference. If you have all the Ferraris, have I said there is a slight difference throughout them all. Red Bulls, put them side by side. It's like looking at the Porsche 911s. They're all the same.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's still an iconic livery. I think if I could just pick your brain one moment, what I think your sort of mindset is a livery has to sort of end its run, and then in years to come is still talked about. The way in which we talk about Ferrari, the way in which we spoke about Aston Martin earlier in the podcast, the way we still speak about the Silver Arrow, the way we speak about the Marlboro McLaren livery, the Williams yellow, white, and blue livery. There's others obviously out there. The way we still talk about them, right? So maybe that's what you're maybe that's where you're at. I don't know.
Do you know what it is? I think
what
I really like. What I think is I don't think they can be as iconic in terms of a livery or of the caliber of asset. They're overshadowed by a can. They are. It's a similar. Like, you go to anyone and say Red Bull, they think of a can.
Well, yeah, it's an energy drinks brand. When Benetton were on the grid and you went up to someone and said Benetton, they're gonna think of the clothes store.
Was Benetton a clothes store?
Yes,
I didn't know.
Still
that.
is.
Is there a clothes store called Benetton?
Yeah, Benetton clothing is literally what is Benetton. Yes,
I did not know that.
Exactly. That's what, bro. Cadillac, Mercedes, Ferrari. The average Don thinks about the car first, not the F1 team.
I would be willing to do a genuine experiment with you.
Okay.
Where we go to a city with like GoPros.
Right.
And we go up to people and say, first thing that comes in mind when you say Red Bull. It'll be cans or gives you wings.
Yeah, I expect that.
They won't say car.
No, I expect that.
That's the difference.
It's an energy drinks brand.
Yeah, I know, but I think that's the difference as to why I don't think Red Bull's there. With the
right. Okay. All I'm gonna say is if it's dating, wait, hold on a sec. Williams isn't a car brand.
That we've gone on here.
Williams isn't a car brand. What do you want from them?
No, but Williams isn't a can either.
Oh, bro.
All I'm saying is, Red Bull is bigger as a can than it is as a car.
Yes, of course it is, because the majority of the
Yes, but
population
that's why
drink
I don't
Red Bull.
think there'll be yeah, I know, of course it is, but that's why I just don't think it's gonna. It's as iconic as what some people
That's
say it is.
stupid. That's stupid logic, because it's a livery on an F1 car, not. But this is F1. I'm not talking about drinks cans. Like
I know.
Like the car itself. I get it that you say it's not as iconic as Ferrari and Aston because they've been around for longer and they've done more stuff, which is fair enough. Even the Silver Arrow, there's an argument, but I get it because Silver Arrow Mercedes is iconic as a car brand and they're silver, and also they did predate in the 50s. They were also an F1. Fair enough, right? Whatever. But all I'll say is, come the inevitable time that Red Bull potentially aren't even in the sport anymore, or something else or other, this car livery will be up there with the yellow, blue, and white Williams, the Marlboro Ferrari, the Marlboro McLaren, the red and white McLaren. It'll be up there with the Silver Arrow. It will be up there with the Aston Martin British Racing Green. It will be. It will be in top 5 most iconic F1 liveries of all time. It will be, and I think it is now. But I just think because it's not nostalgic for you, I think you're not sort of gauging with it right now. And
No.
Also, your hatred for Red Bull doesn't help either.
I think if Red Bull left now, 30 years time, I've forgotten about it.
No.
I genuinely I don't. The livery doesn't imprint on me apart from a hatred.
Right. Anyway, let's move on. We got 2 more liveries to get to.
Yes. Let's move
Ferrari.
on. That was a weird ass rant.
It was. Let's move to Ferrari.
Yeah, they've disappointed me.
Yeah, this is a bunch of ass. What is going on?
The red is nice.
Yeah, the red.
I
is
like
nice.
the red.
Yeah.
It's a little bit darker.
Yeah.
It's a nice red.
Yep.
But what the fuck have they done with the white?
The thing is, Ferrari had it spot on last year. I didn't like the HP logo last year, but it was the livery was nice enough to where it just did. Now they fucked it completely.
HP's ruined it.
The thing is, I say this about Aston Martin, but it stands true for Ferrari as well. Ferrari's like the easiest livery to do. It's just make it red, put a few nice like little bits and bobs on it, make the drivers' numbers look nice, and that's it. No, you don't even have to put yellow on it to make it look nice. Just fucking paint it red, man. Like, that's all you gotta do, man. The white looks like ass.
The white is ass. The
thing is, white on a Ferrari isn't bad, and I don't mind that white stripe.
Yeah.
If it was a bit smaller, because it's quite big. I don't mind it, but it's the HP logo on top of it as well.
Yeah.
It's so ass.
Oh, I don't know.
It's in loser. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's pissed me off.
It's in loser. Without a doubt.
They pissed me off with that.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, by the way, when they revealed the race suits like a few weeks ago, the race suits so nice.
Are lovely.
Yeah, and then they've just pulled out the most. Ferrari have done this a few times in the last few years, by the way. Can we just point this out? They teased that blue Miami livery, which would have gone so well with HP, by the way, and then it looked like
it could still this season. You never know.
Honestly, just do it. Just make a blue HP livery. It'd look nice. It would.
I think it would. And you can keep the white as well.
Yeah, it'd look bussing. If you want to do that for a race or two, go for it. I don't mind a blue Ferrari.
It would look good. Do you know what? Could you imagine if they put green where the white is, though, for Monza?
I would do like an Italian flag.
Oh.
No, remember they did that with Mission Winnow. Do you remember? They had the green Mission Winnow logo on the back of the car that one year. That looked like ass. No, actually, I think that would look quite nice as long as they kept a little bit of the white.
I don't know. They could fuck it up.
They could. It could look all right though. It'd do the Italian flag.
They have to keep the white on as well. If it goes fully green,
no.
Nah.
Yeah, but Ferrari would though.
Ferrari would. Yeah, but and the good news, one thing that looks good in red, Lewis.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah.
See now Mercedes or the aura that man walked out with then in that red suit.
See, the thing is, Ferrari Ferrari already had aura with Carlos and Charles, but Lewis just takes it to another level.
Mate, it's gonna be a different level. You know when they do like a pit walk or the lap walk, and he's decked out in a Ferrari gears and stuff.
Yeah.
The aura that's just gonna be surrounding him.
I know. Yeah. But speaking of Ferrari, though, want to touch on this quickly before we move on to McLaren. They did a shakedown, and Lewis Hamilton's fastest time was 0.8 seconds from Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
That worries me a little bit, even though we're not at testing or Australia.
You see, I read that. Probably exact same article that you read.
Yeah.
I then delved deeper.
Okay, go on. Tell us the facts.
Hamilton was on a completely different setup to Charles.
Yeah, I really hope.
And he was on different tyres.
Okay.
So Charles was on a more set up to find the limits of the car.
Right.
So Charles was set up to reach the limits, see what's going on there. And Lewis was set up for bed him in, comfortability, harder tyres, see what's what with that. So they were on different, not complete different ends. There was similarities, but Charles was on a more rigid, faster approach than what Lewis was on, because Lewis is still bedding in, whereas Charles was more of a gung-ho one.
Okay.
So there is a reason as to why Lewis was that much slower than Charles.
Yep.
And that was the reason, because of the setup differences that Ferrari had on the cars between the two sessions. And on top of this, Charles's lap time was almost a second quicker than the SF24 last year.
Right.
So the Ferrari at the same point last year has gained a second with this car. Obviously, different weather, different temperatures, different everything's. So you can't have the exact same time. But it was a second around a similar time of year as it was last year with the other car. Apparently, this car's a second quicker around that Fiorentina track.
Yeah.
So, if it is a second quicker...
Well, is it second quicker from Abu Dhabi or just the shakedown of the 24?
So the shakedown of the 24 compared to the shakedown of the 25.
So, obviously, the shakedown of the 24 wasn't the limit of that car. And this one won't be the limit of the 20. So, it's probably...
No, but start a second ahead of the front of the limit of that one.
So from Abu Dhabi, we're probably looking at maybe 4 or 5 tenths quicker starting out the gates.
Potentially.
Yeah, we're looking around there.
If that, probably more like 2 tenths.
Well, you never know.
You don't know, but I wouldn't read into the fact that Hamilton was 0.8 behind Charles because the cars were completely set up different.
Well, thank you for the reassurance on that one. Let's move on to McLaren.
I was worried as well when I first read it, so that's why
I just pooed myself.
That's why I did a deep dive.
Yeah, so let's move on to McLaren then. So yeah, it just kind of average sort of things. Your champions.
I'm fairly certain it's basically the exact same livery as last year,
with a little bit of blue.
A small bit.
A smudge.
Did you hear the reason before they said? As Andrea Stella said, we wanted to pay tribute to last season's title-winning car, so it's not changed. This is fuck. You were just lazy fuckers. You didn't want to change the livery.
I do get it though, because we were speaking about iconic liveries.
That orange is not iconic for McLaren.
No, it's not. Not yet. But
for fuck's sake, here we go.
No, because the thing
they've had one good year.
No, yeah.
One good year.
No, listen. If they continue to perform at this level for years to come, McLaren have had 2 iconic liveries now. Right?
The Vodafone and the Marlboro.
It could be done again. And one thing we have to remember about
What's
McLaren
this
as
one
well.
going to be? Google Chrome.
Yeah, the Google Chrome livery. That's it.
Oh, no.
No, it'd be called the papaya livery. No, because McLaren for the last 10 years or so have been trialing this papaya orange, and I don't think they've got it right most of the time. I think most of the time they've actually got it really wrong, especially when they had a lot of blue on it.
It's good looking.
But now I think they've nailed it. I think
It
this
is good
livery is
looking.
really nice.
It's a good looking livery.
It is a really good looking livery. It was good looking last year. It's good looking this year. And they've nailed it now. They've kept the blue to a minimum, which I'm happy they have, because the blue, I was never a big fan of it.
I am
on the
hearing
orange.
no words of iconic coming out of your mouth about this livery anytime soon.
No, it's not iconic now, but what I'm saying is
Is it iconic if Ferrari win the championship this year now? No.
iconic for being bad.
They've won one constructors.
No. I know. But what I'm saying is this livery, the same way that the Vodafone McLaren, I mean, the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes was an iconic livery. It won one driver's title.
Yeah. But it competed in all the others.
Yeah, and it did really well when McLaren.
With these guys, most of the season they've been competing for 6th.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is if they continue to win things, and now that they've nailed the livery, it's two factors. Now that they've nailed the livery, and now that they potentially could go on to win things, this could now go on to be McLaren's look. And also, we got to remember, the road car McLaren, their brand identity is orange anyway, papaya orange, right? So it makes sense. 2 and 2 has gone together. This is now McLaren's look. I don't think they ever go back to a white or a red or a silver. I think they stay orange for a very long time now. I think this is McLaren's look. That's why I think it could become iconic.
I would like them to start having less black.
I agree. I think that will come when the whole weight saga blows over.
Maybe 2026 could be different. You don't know.
It could be. I hope the FIA do
cars
eventually.
are thinner for 2026 as well, no?
They are, yeah. Which is annoying. I like the wide cars.
Yeah, they've gone on the diet for 2026.
Yeah, kind of like what I need to do.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's it for the liveries. It's in winner for me, McLaren.
Yeah, it's a winner. It is a winner. I mean, I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying it's not iconic.
No, not yet. But
I'm not dealing with that. Not again. Yeah.
F175 though. Final thoughts?
Well, shall we put it F175? Is it in winner or loser?
The purist in me wants to say loser, but I'm gonna say winner because I think there was many things that could have gone wrong, and only some of them did.
I'm gonna say it as a winner. It was a good show.
Yeah, it was entertaining, and I like. You know what I really like about it though? I will say I really like that we got all the liveries at once. Because one thing I hate, especially last year with the podcast, was waiting for every livery to come out to do a ranking of them.
Oh.
That was the most ass thing ever. So at least with F175, we get to just have them all at once and just talk
back
about
to it next year.
Yeah, please go back. F176. Let's go. I'm
Do
trying
you know
to.
what? I wouldn't do a show, but I would do it so all the teams just reveal it on one exact date. Have a fixed date. You must reveal your livery on this date, the week before, or the start of the week before testing. The Monday before testing, your livery must be revealed.
FIA, listen, if you're going to do one thing, implement this rule, please.
Yeah, it makes our life easier.
But anyway, thanks for watching this very long edition of the podcast for F175. That's all our thoughts. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the liveries, and we'll see you next time.